missed out on the playoffs in the previous year. I'm guessing year 6. We made the playoffs twice, going to the conference finals last time around and then missing out by 2 points. We're looking to get back in with Connor McDavid leading the team still. Let's get through the preseason and see how things are shaping up for the Montreal Canadiens. Nothing. First loss. Buffalo Seas always guessing those back-to-backs in the preseason. So we go 5-2 in the preseason, losing to Buffalo and Detroit. Just give you a look at what the team looks like going into this year. Connor McDavid once again leading the team in preseason points with 10. His line mate Mitch Marner with only 8 points. Andre Kass with 9. Shin Karuk with 8 points. Drew Doughty with 7-6. Gerard stepping up with 6 points in the preseason. Hardman, who's a new signee. Let's take a look at our 6 defensemen. So we're getting a little bit of goals. We had 6 goals from our defense core in the preseason. That's not too bad. No negatives, a couple zeros, and a couple +1s. Drew Doughty leading the way. I'd love to have him healthy for a playoff push. As you know, the last time we made playoffs, Doughty was hurt and missed the entire postseason run. And we moved away from, if you're just joining us, we moved away from Ryan McDonough as team captain. The captain is now Alex Pietrangelo, with Connor McDavid earning an A alongside of Mitch Marner. No, Marner had his stripped. It's another defenseman, I believe. Let's take a look after the first month of play. Drew Doughty out with a mild concussion October 1st. Let's just go best lines. We got 7 defensemen up. That is delivering assignment. We were looking at forwards in the O. Also get defensemen for 3 weeks. We are not going to make that trade. They want a 3rd to drop us to a 6th for Chason. We're seeing giving us Chason. We are not going to take that trade. They now want drop down draft picks. And Drew Doughty is back. Now they're offering us a 4th round pick for the same player, but they want a 5th in exchange as well. He's potentially a top 6 defenseman. We're going to decline. We're not going to make many trades this year, I don't think. I'm happy with the direction of the franchise. Ouch, we just lost our goaltender for at least a month. We're 6-4-2. Laval's 8-2-1. Let's take a look at the Montreal Canadiens. We are a point back of a playoff spot with a game in hand. Toronto's got 2 games ahead of us. They're 2 points ahead. And like I said, it looks like we just lost Skinner. Connor McDavid once again leading the team. And on his wing is Mitch Marner with ties 8 points. And Shinkaruk. Those 3 guys play extremely well together. You can try to keep them together as long as possible, I think. Let's look at goalies. Skinner went down with an injury. McDavid is going to get his chance to play. We have our Sheely coming up from the A. He's 6-1-1 with a decent goals against average, so hopefully he can give some good relief and get some playing time in while Skinner is hurt for the month of November and into December. At least our defense is healthy now. We had 2 shooter losses. Close out the month. Oh my lord, he just gets back and he's hurt again. Oops. I forgot to sign Scout. Oh, he's assigned right now. Let's just edit this assignment. To spend 3 weeks looking at goalies in the OHL. Colorado 11-1-1. That is probably going to be a loss for us, if I had to guess. 2 games against Colorado. Without our goaltender, those are probably losses. I would pick up a 3-2 win, a 5-2 loss. So as I grab a quick bite to eat. So I'm seeing a lot of losses, but at least we're getting points. Forwards. 3 weeks. Except for the last 2. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on with the team. We're 9-9-5. I knew we were going to struggle. We're not getting the points. We're only 6 points back of a playoff spot. Mitch Marner in the lead with the team right now. I'm more concerned at our goaltending positions at the moment, as McDavid and Marner are combined for 20 points apiece. Nathan Lindsay. So McNevin is 3-4-3, an .898 save percentage. Charlie Shelley is 1-2-1 in 4 appearances, .248. Niven is probably going to get moved out in the near future. And let's see how we do with as we prepare down the stretch of games without our starter. Can he come back and help this team get some W's on the board? Let's go to January 1st. Oops. And Skinner is back. So we close out the month of December with a 15, 14, and 7 record. We had a lot of losses in there as our starter was hurt. Mitch Marner still leading the team in points. We are 5 points back of a playoff spot. 9 points. Oh, sorry. 8 points back of third place in the division. So hopefully we can turn things around now that we have a healthy number 1. Let's go to the end of January. No, decline. They want way too much for a 4th round pick. Way too much for a 4th round pick. Ouch, 7-5 loss to Toronto. That hurts. So we're 23, 18, and 7 now on the year. I think we're still sitting outside of the playoff spot looking in. 2 points back of a playoff spot. 6 points back in the division for 3rd. So right now I'm going to leave things as they are. A lot of it was our goaltender getting hurt early in the year. I think with him back, I've noticed a more frequent amount of wins coming in. let's go to the deadline and see if I decide to make any last-minute additions or subtractions from the team based on where we are. And of course, first game in, Petrolangelo goes down with an injury. Sam Wilson to us for a third-round pick. Scott Wilson, 32 years old. I will accept this trade. He's got 2 years left. Maybe it'll help spark the team. One trade seems to have sparked us as we're on a winning streak since acquiring Wilson. And it just came to an end. Ooh, a big win over the Rangers. Defenseman, elite, loss of potential, high trade value. Drew Doughty's falling off. When we are at the deadline, let's take a look at the standings and decide what we're doing. I decided to put Doughty up just a couple days ago. Maybe I move him. He is 35 now, I believe I saw his age. Starting to fall off a bit. His trade value has declined. And we're sitting in a playoff spot, so we're in a position of being a buyer. Hopefully we can find someone to add into this team. I mean, bring in someone off of this player's contract or trade value to help us hopefully get over I'm gonna reject that. I think I have 2 first-round picks this year, only one. Maybe adding a second would be enough. Maybe a pair of second-round picks. Will be enough to swing the deal in our favor as we try bringing Nick Salcido. Nelson Salcido joins the Montreal Canadiens. Yes, we did just put pressure on our centerman. Xavier Girard is going to play in place. Oh, he's still playing. Okay, so Girard is still playing. Suter is there. Daniel, $2.9 million remaining on his contract. Let's move him out now that we've acquired a younger center. And maybe recoup so we did make a move. We got rid of a prospect for a guy who's NHL ready now. How to give up 2 second-round picks. We also cut $1 million off their cap for next year as we sit in just inside of a playoff spot. Hopefully we can move on and back into the playoffs. I'm thinking in the offseason I might actually, you know what? Let's see if I can move him out with a first for a slightly younger defenseman. Both Drew Doughty and Pietrangelo are 35 years of age. The trade value is starting to decrease. Teams are interested in Doughty, and hopefully I can get a deal worked out somewhere. Bowie or Bodie Thornton, elite level. I'm mostly going to go for that deal. Colorado in for sale. It still puts him well over the cap. I'm not going to retain salary. I only train 2 division opponents necessarily. Still puts them over the cap. Tampa. Colin Foote joins as we go Drew Doughty on first. Goes best lines. Slip his one with the cap. I wanted to put in a 2nd round pick. And the 3rd. So we moved out our top 2 defensemen who were aging. We're going to try to get younger. Bit of a sell-off. Bit of an acquisition. And now let's see if we can re-sign that defenseman who we just traded away, or traded for, as we opened up about $17 million in cap space for next season. Cousins, I don't want to pay you that much. Get one more year out of you at least. So our defense core has been aging. Last season we got rid of Ryan McDonough, Drew Doughty, and man, let's take a look here now. Our last couple of player piece and trading at the deadline. Nashville acquired a 4th round pick in Eric Karnick for a 4th, Nick Gosselin a 5th. St. Louis acquired a 3rd for Scott Wilson from us on the 7th. On the 17th, Butcher Sorella and a 7th round pick went to the Golden Knights for Sylvain Sluis and Lee Hutchinson. Andre Palat went for a pair of 1st round picks. Christian Dvorak and Thomas Hamonic from Detroit for Jesper Backstrom and Reed Russo. 2nd round pick and Michael Mersch from the LA Kings for Timo Miener. Vancouver acquired Nick Shore and a 4th round pick for Stetcher, a 5th and a 7th. Washington acquired McCarron, a 2nd and a 2nd from Montreal for Nelson Salcido. Philip Deneau went from Montreal to Anaheim for Anton Moreland. Drew Doughty in the 1st went to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Callan Foote. Alex Pietrangelo a 2nd and a 3rd to Calgary for Madison Bowie. So I did cut some age from the defense core, which will be a huge help going forward, I think. As I free up cap space, as I'm gonna have to sign Mitch Marner and Connor McDavid in the next couple of seasons. And of course, they're still young, they're gonna want raises. Let's get through the month of February and see if we hold on to that playoff spot despite the changes we just made. Or get through the month of March. Sorry. And Bowie accepts his extension, so not all is lost in that acquisition. So I'll be looking like getting younger on defense has helped the team as we are 44, 29, and 9. Right now we have one more game to sim past. Let's take a look at defenseman for 3 weeks. As we're 45, 29, 24, and 9. Looking to round out the year. Mitch Marner leading the team with 96 points. We are in a playoff spot. We've actually clinched a playoff spot. We are just looking to play up for our division to hopefully not be stuck in a wild card position. As the Islanders are the only team not outside looking in, or on the inside looking out right now. So we are set for the playoffs. Let's take a look at the team points leaders. Mitch Marner and Connor McDavid, 1A, 1B every year. 36 goals from McDavid this season. A little bit drop off. He's still at 95 points, so I'm not complaining too much. Eric Saldino, I wonder if he's a rookie. He's 18 years of age. Rookie skater, 46 points. The time spent between Washington and Montreal. Still not enough for the league lead is Nathan Havishid has it right now, with Ryan Myers just on his tail. Our new defensemen aren't as known for putting the puck in the net, but they are helping keep it out. Other than Lindsay, Salem, and Mete, our third pairing still needs work. One player's already played 82 games this season. He's gonna be if he plays every game, it'll be 86 games played, plus playoffs as we're going to the playoffs. We're in April 1st. We have 4 games to play, 3 of them on the road. Let's get to the end of the regular season. Shootout loss. So we pick up 5 points in the final 8 games of the regular season. Is it good enough to move us into third, maybe second place in the division? No, we stay right where we are as a wild card team. 104. 119. So we will probably get the Florida Panthers in the opening round, as the New Jersey Devils don't even take on the President's Trophy with 123 points in the year. The Winnipeg Jets have won the President's Trophy. Yeah, in the East, you need at least 40, almost 45 wins to guarantee a playoff spot. Like Detroit even had 43, only 2 in overtime. They still missed out on the playoffs. So you need, the East is so tight. So when we miss the playoffs, I usually don't mind. Mitch Marner with 103 points, breaking the 100-point plateau once again in his career. Connor McDavid also hitting 100 points once again. This year, Mitch Marner leads the team. Shinkaruk with 73 points, playing with those two all year. So, a bit of a drop off after that. Let's take a look at our goaltending positions. So Skinner, playing only 48 games, gets 30 wins, 7 shutouts for the 26-year-old now, 920 save percentage, 2.37 goals against average. He missed a chunk of time this year. McNiven with 16 go-ins, 11 losses, 5 ties, 2 shutouts. Our third-string goaltender came up with 1, 2, and 2, 98 save percentage in the games that he ended up playing. Let's go through the postseason. Let's just quickly flip over to the AHL, see if the Laval Rockets made the playoffs. They did not, missing out for the second year in a row. And as I called, we are playing the Florida Panthers in round 1 of the playoffs. Let's see how we do. heartbreaking 7-6 loss in game 1. We open the scoring from Marner. Tippett scores to tie it up. Hayes gives them the 2-1 win. Salcido ties it up to close out the first. They score 5 in the second period. Kane, Bergstrand, Kane, Pummel, Kane with a hat trick. Hayes in the third period. We try to rally back, but the deficit is just too much. So we only get 3. We needed 4 to force overtime. That was not a goaltending affair at all. 3 stars. Patrick Kane definitely getting a first star. Hayes with a second. And we pick up 1 star with Matt Pumpel taking home the third with a goal and 2 assists. Let's see how we do in game number 2. And our goalie Ray bounds back with a shutout to tie the series up. All 3 goals coming in the first period. Darling and Pummel with his third of the playoffs, second of the game. No scoring in second, no scoring in the third. We've evened the series up, going back to Montreal. James Reimer with the second star, Skinner with the first. As Reimer came in as a backup and shut us down. And Pumpel with the third star with his 2 goals. Let's continue on. Sent to next game. And another close game. 2 of these games have been decided by 1 goal, essentially. It's a 2-1 victory for the Montreal Canadiens as Shinkaruk opens up the scoring in the second. Darling makes it 2-0. Dylan makes it 2-1 to spoil the shutout bid, as we have now taken a 2-1 series lead over the Florida Panthers. The 3 stars of game 2 are Skinner, Dell, and Darling. Let's look at game 4. Can we take the commanding 3-1 series lead as the series shifts back to Florida? And we take the commanding series lead with our second shutout of the series. No scoring in the first. Connor McDavid with the only goal of the game late in the second. We hold on in the third. Skinner stops 36 of 36 shots for his second shutout of the series. Definitely helping that goals against average after giving up 7 in the first. Dell with a second star, and Connor McDavid with the third as the only goal of the game. And we close out the series by winning 4 straight with a 5 by winning 4 straight in a 5-game series. That's what's trying to get out there, folks. And let's simulate up to this day. Let's simulate. And in over overtime, the Florida Panthers stave off elimination of force Game 6, going back to Montreal. Connor McDavid opens the scoring in the first. McInnes ties it up midway. Shinkaruk takes the 2-1 lead into the third. McInnes ties it up. Kane gets the go-ahead goal midway through. Mitch Marner gets his first of the series, I believe, and ties up. And in overtime, Patrick Kane on Skinner. And we are going to Game 6. The 3 stars of the game: Patrick Kane with 2 goals, Ryan McInnes with 2 goals, Aaron Ekblad with 3 assists. The Panthers taking all 3 stars in that game. Let's move on to the next game, where we have won every game in Montreal. Hopefully we can close out the series in 6 and not go to Game 7. We'll say Vegas just won their first playoff series. And the Montreal Canadiens close out with a 6-3 victory on home ice. Nick Cousins netting his first goal of the series. Shinkaruk making it 2-0. Patrick Kane putting in within striking distance, making it 2-1. In the second period, they tie it up. Patrick Kane gives them a go-ahead winner. Darling ties it up. Just after that, Sutter gives us the go-ahead goal, and we tack on 2 more from Mitch Marner and Shinkaruk in the third. And we are advancing to the second round of the playoffs. 3 stars of the game are Riley Sutter, Hunter Shinkaruk, and Mitch Marner. Let's take a look at the playoff tree. We'll be playing Tampa Bay in the next round, as they may put out the Toronto Maple Leafs in 5, the New Jersey Devils over 6. We're still waiting on Carolina and Philly in the East. The Ducks and Jets have gone to 7. Calgary, Edmonton, and a classic Battle of Alberta with the Oilers up. And the Golden Knights, I believe, won their first playoff series. They are advancing to the second round. Let's take a look and see who. Well, we know who we play. Let's take a look at the player stats for our team after the opening round. Shinkaruk leading the team with 10 points. McDavid with 9. Marner with 9. Well, with 5. Sutter with 5. Darling with 5. Cousins, Salindo. Not much scoring from our defense, so they got 4 assists there. Assists. And not much scoring out of the defense core at all. Actually, no goals from our defense. They are moving the puck. They are keeping the puck out, at least. And our goalie, Skinner, went 4-1-1 with 2 shutouts, a .921 save percentage, 248 goals against average. He rebounded after that horrible first game where he gave up 7 goals. And a wild affair. And as I say, rebounded nicely. We're going to go day by day until the next round of the playoffs begins. And we are playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in round 2, starting off on the road once again, as we are the number 7 seed in the West and they're in the East. Let's take a quick look at the playoff tree. So the Jets' quest to repeat as Stanley Cup champions is over. I was in the first round as the Anaheim Ducks eliminate them. Calgary goes the distance with Edmonton, winning the last 2 games of the series to go on to face the Golden Knights. Colorado will be facing Anaheim. Carolina in 6 over the Devils. The Devils are in 6 over Philly. Devils over in 6 over the Islanders. And 5 games, the shortest in the East. It took 5 games for Tampa Bay Lightning to knock off the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we went 6 games to eliminate the Florida Panthers. Can we get out of the second round and return to the conference final? And the Tampa Bay Lightning in overtime take game number 1 with a score 3-2. We scored 2 goals in the first period, both late. One really late with 31 seconds remaining on Vasilevsky. In the second period, Kako scored. Kucherov ties it up. And in overtime, Watson rips one past Skinner, and the Tampa Bay Lightning take the 1-0 series lead. 3 stars of Game 1 are Vasilevsky with a 1.41 goals against average, Stewart with a 2.12. Both goaltenders stood on their heads. Austin Watson getting the 3rd star because he scored the game winner. And we rebound to tie up the series with a 3-2 victory. Sutter with a goal in the first. McDavid with a goal in the second. Marner makes it 3-0 early in the third. Ratsev and Kucherov both score with just around 5 minutes left to make it competitive. They just can't find the 3rd goal to force overtime. We are going back to Montreal, tied up at 1. 3 stars in Game 2. Stewart taking home the 1st star. Marner and McDavid the 2nd and 3rd. And Tyson Lindsay has been hurt. That's okay. Send the next game. And Montreal takes a 2-1 series lead, doubling up the Lightning 4-2 at the Bell Center. Jonathan Toews opens up the scoring. Vesalainen ties it up. Sutter gives us a 2-1 lead going into the second period. Howden ties it up. Gerard gives us the lead, and in the third period, Salcido picks up the insurance marker. We have taken the 2-1 lead. We've only lost 1 game on home ice in the playoffs, and that was we haven't lost at all at home. We take a look. And we lost, win, one at home, lost on the road, one at home. We are a perfect 4 for 4 at the Bell Center right now. As we look to, once again, hopefully take a commanding 3-1 series lead with a victory in Game 4. And we stay perfect at home on home ice with a 4-3 victory. Sutter opens up the scoring. Stamkos ties it up in the first. In the second, Hartman gives us the go ahead low. Kako ties it up in the third period. Girard gives us a go ahead goal. Salcido gives us the insurance. With 5 minutes left to play, Stamkos with a second of the game. Just not enough. We are putting our stamp on these playoffs. Nelson Salcido, Ryan Sutter, and Steven Stamkos with the 3 stars. We're making it hard for teams to meet. Stomach return May 6th. So we lost another defenseman in that game. That's okay. I'm hoping we have enough in the tank. Hopefully we can close out this game with in 5. Not return to the Bell Center where we'll be putting a perfect record on the line. Seemingly up to this day. And with a 2-0 shutout, the Montreal Canadiens are advancing in 5. We lost the first game of the series. We rallied back to win the next 4. Salcido scores in the second to what turns out to be the eventual game winner. Shinkaruk scores in the third period. Our goaltender Skinner stops 30 of 30 shots for the shutout, his third in the postseason. And we are once again returning to the conference finals. And we will go we'll take a look at our stats for 11 games in the postseason. Karakuai signed an extension. Is leading the team with 13 points. He's a clutch player. He's a -2 though. McDavid and Marner are both up there with him. That top line of ours has combined for 14 goals. Nick Salcido, who is a rookie, spent time between us and Washington. He's the second pick overall in this past year's draft. He has got 9 points in the playoffs. Riley Suter has got 9 points. Pompeo has got it. So I'm still not seeing any goals from the defense. I really don't care as long as they're keeping the pucks out. They're doing their job. The only guy who Montour, he's the only weak spot right now. Skinner's 8-1-2 with 3 shuttles, a .933 save percentage, 218 goals against average. This kid, other than game 1 in Florida, has stood on his head, giving us a chance to win night in, night out in the playoffs, which is what you need from your team or your goaltender. Quick look. Colorado also in 5. They've played 1 less game than us. As we went 6, they've gone 5-5. Vegas is up 3-2 over Calgary. Can Calgary rally back and win the next 2 to force Game 7 and possibly move on? We are looking at either probably Carolina, maybe the Devils who beat us last year in the Eastern Finals. Let's see how things match up as we go day by day, looking to see who we play in the conference finals. It's looking like at least one of the two remaining series went 7. We are looking at the Carolina Hurricanes. We have home ice advantage for the first time in a playoff round. That is good, as we are 6-0 on home ice. Just to prove that, I'll take a look at things. Calgary once again comes from a 3-2 deficit to win a series. They are going to be playing the Colorado Avalanche in the West, the Montreal Canadiens versus Carolina Hurricanes in the East. Let's take a look at how the playoff tree has advanced. New Jersey did manage to force Game 7. Carolina wins it. They stay on. As I said, second time in a row, Calgary came from a 3-2 deficit from behind to win a series in 7 games. Let's look at the team stats. Let's just focus on the teams that have 8 wins. So Colorado's played 1 less game. Calgary's played the most games. Fatigue could be setting in as they face a fresh, Colorado team. Montreal and Carolina. We are scoring 3.27 goals per game, giving up 2.27. Carolina scoring 3.8, giving up 2.31. Should be a close series. We have scored 13 goals on the power play, 28.9% efficiency. Giving up a shorthanded against. Giving up 5 power plays for 88.4. We have the worst power play killing percentage of the 4 teams remaining. We're 5-0 at home, 3-3 on the road, 8-2 in our last 10 games. We need to keep getting those home wins, as Carolina is 4-2 at home, 4-3 on the road. So they're losing at home, they're losing on the road. That's good for us. As the Bell Center is just rocking for us and keeping us alive in these postseason, or in this postseason, I should say. Let's send to the next game and get ready for the conference finals. So it's a 6-5 loss, our first loss on home ice. This series looked to be a decent scoring series going in. Ryan Myers scores foot, gets our first offensive goal of the playoffs. Salcido gives us 2-1 win, 3-1. Raskon Skinner to make it 3-2 after 1. In the second period, McDavid scores. Connors keeps them within 1. Kopitar ties it up. Peluso gives us the go-ahead. Hannafin ties it up, and in overtime, Tyler Seguin scores. And Carolina takes the 1-0 series lead, handing us our first home ice loss. Tyler again, 1 goal, 3 assists. Nelson Salcido, 1-1, and Callan Foote with 4 big hits, 1 goal, and the series stays in the Bell Center as we trail once again in the opening we lost the first game of every series so far. Let's see if we can rebound like we have in the past. And it is one simulate. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there's a toddler living here. She just had a meltdown over something. And we rebound with a 2-1 win. Shingrix scores in the first to give us the 1-0 lead. In the second period, Myers ties it up. In the third period, Salcido, was that his second of the game? No, it wasn't, I don't believe. Salcido gives us the go-ahead goal. Skinner stops 26 of 27 shots. 3 stars have got to be Stuart Skinner, Nelson Salcido, and Hunter Shinkaruk, or however you pronounce it. As we tie up the series, with the series heading to Carolina, where we are a 500 team on the road. Let's sim to the next game. Edit assignment. What do we have in the rest of the world? 3 defensemen. Go take a look at those 3 defensemen. Simulate. And we have taken the 2-1 series lead, picking up game 1 in Carolina. Tyler Seguin opens the scoring early. Connor McDavid ties it up, gets the puck to Mitch Marner in for a late first period goal to give us a 2-1 lead. In the second period, we make it 3-1 with a rookie scoring. And in the third period, Ansei Kopitar gets one midway, but not enough. As Carolina fires 41 shots, our goaltender stopping 39 of them to give us a 2-1 series lead. He's probably the first star again. Stuart Skinner, Mitchell Marner, and Connor McDavid. And we are we're moving on to game 4 with a 2-1 series lead. Colorado making short work so far of Calgary. If Calgary can come back from this, they would have come back from a 3-0 deficit. I think the playoffs are pretty much over, and Colorado will be waiting for us to face off in the Stanley Cup Finals. Or Carolina if they can come back. Hopefully us. Thinking positive. And we prepare to... We are going once again in overtime. With the overtime loss, the series returns to Montreal. Best of 3 series now. Sutter opens up the scoring. Falk ties it up. Connor gives Carolina the go-ahead goal in the first. They go up by 2. Case gets us within 1. Marner ties it up, and in overtime, Tyler Seguin on Skinner. This series is all tied up. The 3 stars are Tyler Seguin, Kyle Connor, and Victor Rask, all with 2 points in the game for the Carolina Hurricanes, who have made it a best of 7 series, and Calgary stays off the sweep. Let's get over to the next game. We're back at the Bell Center. We've only lost 1 time on home ice in the playoffs. Let's see if we can pick up another win to take the 3-2 series lead and not have to battle back from behind in this series. And we pick up the 4-3 win in regulation. Lucio Starin opens up the scoring late in the first. In the second, Calgary goes up by 3-0. We rally back with Shinrick and Sutter picking up goals. Marner and McDavid. Marner ties on McDavid late in the game. Stays off the overtime, and we pick up the victory. I'm curious if Skinner was pulled after the 3 goals allowed. No, he wasn't. He was allowed to finish the game despite giving up 3 goals in 2 periods, putting us down. McDavid with 1 goal, 2 assists. Hunter Shinrick with 1 goal, 2 assists. So our top line combines with 3 goals and 9 points on 4 goals. On the 4 goals, 3 of them were from our top line. That's what you want from your top line players come playoff time. You need them to step up. And Colorado once again in 5. So Colorado Avalanche are waiting for the Montreal Canadiens and Carolina Hurricanes to wrap up this series. We are going back to Carolina. Can we hold on to a? Can we win in Carolina to close out this series in 6? Oh, Lindsay's available. That's good. Like when a guy comes back. And Carolina shuts us down in Game 3, or in Game 6, to tie up the series. No scoring in the first. Myers and Kopitar in the second. In the third period, Sebastian Aho, Tyler Seguin, and Myers with the second. Carolina has all the momentum as the series shifts back to Montreal. Little Jasovic with 37 saves. I think he's a backup, maybe. We're going back to Montreal for Game 7. Can the Canadiens once again get to the Stanley Cup final? Complete. And we respond with a shutout of our own in Game 7. No goals in the first. None in the second. Shinrick scores twice in the third, about 5 minutes apart, to give us the 2-0 win. Carolina poured on the shots, outshooting us by 11. Skinner stopped 35 of 35 shots. Alex Nedovic gives up 2 goals. He takes home the 3rd star. Hunter Shinrick, no chance as he gives us the victory. Thanks to this huge performance from Stuart Skinner. And the Montreal Canadiens have returned to the Stanley Cup final for the 2nd time since I started this. Can they get past the Colorado Avalanche and win their 25th Stanley Cup? And we're back to starting series off on the road. Can we actually win Game 1 for once? As you saw, I'm not even go to the playoff tree, but as you saw, it was Colorado in 5 over Calgary. And we are now getting set to go to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Hopefully we can take Game 1 for the first time in the playoffs and not to come from behind. And in overtime, outshooting them by 10 shots. Montreal's takes game one. Nathan MacKinnon opens the scoring. Leo Darling ties it up late in the second period. They go up again. Panarin. Shinkaruk scores yet again. Beliveau scores early. We tied up with 5 seconds remaining from Lindsay, I guess. Theodore Lindsay, I can't remember his first name. And in overtime, Mitch Marner, a minute 33 into overtime, ends the game. Montreal wins 1-0. We take the 1-0 series lead. The 3 stars of the game, Mitch Marner, Nathan MacKinnon, and Arturi Panarin, all with 3 points. As we look to extend our lead in the series by going 2-0 over Colorado. See if we can do it. And we take a 5-4 victory. We are winning these 1-goal games in Colorado. No scoring in the first. Looks like all the goals were in the second, maybe. Case opens it up. Kunalek ties it up. Kamenev gives him the lead. Gettinger ties up. Shinkaruk scores. That is 3-2. 4-2 from Gerard. 4-3 Panarin. MacKinnon ties up. So there's 8 goals scored in the second period. And the third period, our rookie scores midway through to give us the difference maker. We have now won the first 2 games on the road. We return to the Bell Center. Nathan MacKinnon with the first start. Nelson Salcedo at the second. Tim Gettinger with the third. And we head back to Montreal with the 2-0 lead. Can we make it 3-0? Tyson Lindsay is injured with a concussion. Best lines. If we can get up 3-0, we should have the Stanley Cup in hand. The team's 25th Cup win. I'm just going to grab a quick fight before the song gets completely too cold. Colorado responds by taking Game 3 with a 4-1 victory. Spacek, Subban on Skinner. No scoring in the second. In the third period, they go 3-0, 4-0. Salcedo breaks a shadow bid. We lose for the second time on home ice, I believe, in the playoffs. The 3 stars are all going to be Montreal. Malcolm Subban, Gordy Subban, and Michael Spacek. As Colorado gets within 1 win of tying up the series as we go to Game 4. Oh, man. Simulate. And we take it in overtime. We're up 3-1. Like a commanding lead, we need to win 1 of the next 3 games. Once again, Colorado opens up the scoring. Ratnin and Hobson. In the second period, Gerard scores. CC gives them a 2-1 lead. Marner responds almost immediately. So about a minute later. In the third period, Shinkaruk ties it off. That guy is pressure. And in overtime, Mitch Marner, 2 minutes into overtime, gets us the game-winning goal. 3 stars. Our Mitch Marner with his 2 goals, Connor McDavid with 3, Xavier Girard with a goal. The series shifts back to Colorado for Game 5 as we look to now just close out the Colorado Avalanche. And once again in overtime, your Stanley Cup champions are the Montreal Canadiens as they take the series in 5, winning 2 of the 3 games. All 3 games in Colorado, actually. Leo Darling opens up the scoring. Nathan MacKinnon ties it up in the first. No goals in the second. Wild action in third as Marner gives us a lead. Rantanen ties up. McKinnon gives them the lead. Hartman ties it up. Saucedo gives us the 1-goal lead. Hoffman scores to tie it up. And in overtime, Gettinger beats Malcolm Subban. And the Montreal Canadiens with their 25th Stanley Cup on the road in overtime. The 3 stars of the game are Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and Ryan Hartman. Congratulations, Montreal. Let's take a look at the playoff stats. As the Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup with so Montreal goes 6-5-7-5 to win. Colorado only played 20 games in the playoffs. They couldn't get the wins in the last series as they went 5-5-5-5, but lost 4, losing 3 of the games on home ice. Let's take a look at the team stats before we get into the player stats. There you see 16 wins, 7 losses, 74 goals for, a 322 goals for average, 278 goals against, 3.5 goals for Colorado, the 2.5 goals against, 29.6% on the power play, 82% on the penalty kill. It's a little bit more than that. We were 9-2 at home, 7-5 on the road. Winning 9 of 11 games at home helped us secure the victory. Winning the last 3 games on the road in Colorado in that finals helped us out immensely. Mitch Marner leading the team with 11 goals, 17 assists. Connor McDavid, 7 goals, 20 assists. Shinruk, 13 goals, 12 assists. Saucedo, the rookie, 10 goals. He had double digits in goals. Suter with 15 points. Pummel, Girard, Cousins, Bowery, 9 assists. Hartman, Foot had 1 goal. That's the first goal I'm seeing from the defense. Montour, Darling, Gettinger. He got the Stanley Cup winner, only his 2nd goal of the playoffs. Case, Vesalainen. We have 2 goals from our defense, as Peluso also scored 1. Sanheim, Lindsay scored a goal. That's 3 goals from the defense in the playoffs. Ooh, -11. Peluso was the worst. Montour, that pairing were a sieve for us. Bowery and Foot -3s. Sanheim with whoever he was paired up with. Lindsay or Mete was a +10, so our 3rd pairing did a phenomenal job. And the goaltender, 16 wins, 3 losses, 4 in over, 16-7 in 4 shutout, 918 save percentage, 266 goals against average. Stood on his head, played every minute of every game. Let's get out and let's get out and see who the award winners are. The Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup. The Toronto Marlies have won the Calder Cup. So it only took me 6 or 7 years, possibly 6, to get to Stanley Cup. Now the pressure's on to win a couple more. I'd like to see if I can get 5 more wins before the years are up. Let's look at the award winners. That's what I was looking for. So as you see, the Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup. The Winnipeg Jets won the Presidents. The Colorado Avalanche won the Clarence Campbell. And the Prince of Wales went to the Montreal Canadiens. Individual player awards this year. Art Ross went to Nick Ehlers. He also won the Hart Memorial. Got to be here with his 3rd straight. James Norris. Kucherov with the Lady Byng. Havshed with the Rookie of the Year. The Conn Smythe went to Mitch Marner, who led the Canadiens to the Cup. Vasilevsky with the Vezina. Hellebuyck with the Jennings. Larson with the Masterson. Connor McDavid once again winning the Selk. Ehlers with the Ted Lindsay. And Grossman with the Maurice Richard. His 2nd Maurice in 3 years. Let's get to the retiree page and take a look at who's retired from the NHL. The cap is going to be $100 million. The minimum stays the same. Minimum salary cap is $81 million. A lot of money being floored around. We don't have a draft pick this year in the top 15. I don't think we only have our own draft pick in the 1st round. View retired players. Robert Liano retiring from us. He won the Cup. Spent the year in the AHL. Did he might have got up for the playoffs? No. Once again, a career AHL retiring. Just wasn't impressive enough. Playmaker Robert Liano, thank you for your service. 32 years young. Nicholas Backstrom calling it a career. Eric Stahl retiring. Jeff Carter, Brad Marchand, Logan Couture, Hornquist, Kessler, Simmons, James Van Riemsdyk, Milan Lucic, Josh Bader, Nazem Kadri, he's only 34 and calling it a career. Gustav Nyquist, Tyler Johnson, Frolik, Lars Eller, Ryan McDonough. Good thing we moved him out when we did. He has called it a career at age 36. Killorn, McGinn, Maroon, Vlasic, Demirs, Byron, Petrie, Ekholm, Savard, Holden, Calvert, Peter Holland retiring, Marcus Kruger, Al Clifford, Lots no-namers. There's only a couple of NHL games in. My goalie's retiring this year. Devin Dubnyk, Simeon Varlamov, Scott Darling, Kent Albert, James Reimer, Anton Kabutin, Keith Kincaid, Dustin Twarski, Eddie Pascal, bunch of no-namers, but Devin Dubnyk, 39 years of age, retiring from Minnesota. Simeon Varlamov was traded to Vegas at some point, retiring, just shy of 300 wins. I think I'm just going to leave the team as is. Might take a look at anyone who's on an expiring contract, and if I want to move down, see if I can get an asset in return. He's re-signed. Probably so. "24, he's young. I'll give him a couple more years." Montour. Improved. Come to playoffs, so he's -9. We'll see if there's anyone interesting in Brandon Montour. And Lindsay. Oh, he's only 21. Defenseman. No, he's fine. He's 3 years left. And we are at the NHL entry draft. And right away, Montour is being offered to taken off our hands, with the Winnipeg Jets offering us a first-round pick, 27th overall. We are going to accept that deal, as we have now got the 27th and 31st picks in the first round. These numbers. Let's go Gurnier. There's two players I really wanted to look at in this draft, and I took one. I'm going to try to trade up, sacrificing a 2030 second round pick to move up and hopefully get the second guy I was looking at. So she was low elite. Pascal Gurnier. High accuracy on everything. Some of them should go up. Defensive awareness isn't the greatest, but he's young. He's the other guy I definitely wanted. It's a 62 overall, not what I was hoping for. 72 user pick. Let's edit this trade. See if I can change it to a third rounder this year. I don't want a fifth. Let me toss in a seventh rounder to make this deal happen. Wow, Toronto. Pushy much. We're now selecting the third round of this year's draft. Hey, when it's the last pick of the round. 54. Child screaming upstairs. I love little kids. Sapio, Huxley, Gurnier, both late in the first, Weidman in the third, fifth and sixth round picks. Late, I believe. So next year, that is the big player I have to try to re-sign. Connor McDavid. 7. 19 million right now to play with. Yes. Case rejected his contract with us. Cousins accepted. Odette rejected. Accepted, accepted, accepted. I've got 5 guys out there looking to resign. I've got a couple positions available. these guys, what's his name? Casey Ray nags on it. This new deal, he will be released because I'm not even gonna bother with him. Got rejected. You have offered you 2 deals. There was 16 million to play with. Nolan Patrick, 26 years old. Great addition as a second line center. He's an elite level player. Sidney Crosby's available. He's 37 years old. Matt Murray is also available. Wow. So I don't get. Damn, I might. No, I gotta give the kid a chance. I just need a backup. Putting all my eggs in the one basket again. McDavid accepts his extension. And Patrick signed, so we just picked up 2 phenomenal, well, extended 1 player. Got McDavid for another 8 years. What do we have left to work with? Still got $7.5 million to work with. $26 million to work with next year. The Caps projected to go up again. Let's see if we can land another big free agent signing. Sid the kid, well, not really a kid anymore, has come off the boards. Zaka's at 28 years old. Left winger Richie is at 29. Matt Murray is still available. 6 years. 31. My starter did win us a cup, so I can't really be like, hey, thanks for winning a cup. We're signing an all-star goaltender, so I'm not an elite level goalie. I'm not going to do that to the poor kid. He's earned his playing time. There's no young defenseman, so let's go after this Sacha. Oh, for an extra year. What time is it? What? 108. Okay. And Zaka accepts his deal. Gives us $21 million to play with as we look to re-sign Peluso and 2 extensions. So some guys are signing, other guys, this is it's contract extensions, so we'll be signing past next year. Let's get to the start of next season, see what the lineups look like. And after I realized I traded my captain away, I've got to name a new captain. And I think you all know who I'm going to be going with if he hasn't already been named captain. No, sure, you're not going to be the captain. You're going to be an assistant, though. We're going with 6 centers on the team right now. Salcido, be number 25. Sherlock, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Ryan Hartman, Nolan Patrick sliding in the second line, Pavel Zacha there, Scott Wilson, and Darling, Xavier Gerard, Nelson Aldino, Matt Pamel, and Riley Suter. We still have on the bench Nick Cousins and Morin. So we're going to try to move Nick Cousins out. Or Morin out. And bring in a right winger. Real quick. Proposed trade. We go just based on overall. 2, 5. Definitely want the kid playing over the 39-year-old on a $3.9 million deal. Oh, you have 4 right wingers for me. Anaheim. Nothing worthwhile. Gallagher. Yeah, 30-year-old Anthony Duclair. No. Oops, 82, 1 year left. Fuck, Arizona will be over the cap. Buffalo, what do you have for right wingers? Oh, he's got a sex limit. Okay. Never mind. go. We'll go Cousins, who's not going to play with us this year anyway. Just save cap space. And let's get back into edit lines. So Moreland, I'm going to send you down. Moves. So sniper with two playmakers still. Playmaker, power forward, playmaker, two-way, playmaker, two-way. So it should be decent. The DM will float around the 80 mark. And this year for goalies, we are going with Skinner and Charlie Shelley backing him up. Let's do the preseason, and I'll see how I feel. If I feel like doing one more year before I call it a day. Let's get into the first month of play. Oh. So Montreal goes 7-4-1. Laval goes 7-4 in the first month. Let's skip ahead to the next month before we look at the stats. And Skinner once again gets hurt early in the season. He's only out till the end of November, so he should be back in a week or two. We're picking up wins without him in the lineup, which is a good sign. Almost don't want him to come back. As there's our first loss with Skinner out of the lineup. Mitch Marner just got hurt. Then we are in December. We were 16-9-1. Laval is 14-11-1. 16-9-2, 14-11-1. Connor McDavid leading the team in points with 18 goals, 35 points overall, 17 assists. Let's see if our second line center, Patrick, has got 3 goals, 15 assists. Not the kind of signing I wanted out of him, but give him time to adjust. Salcido is popped in 20 points. Lots of minuses on the plus minus. Owie, Foot, Samheim, Peluso, Mete, Lindsay, and Morrow. So once again, we used 3 goalies to this point. Shelley is 9-3 in the backup role. Skinner is 7-5-2. .63, 2.67, 2.03. So goalies are giving up 2 goals a game. That's not the greatest, but it is what it is. We're second in the division. Let's go ahead the next month, maybe 2, as we go through December and into January, possibly into February as we approach the trade deadline. That helps. Mitch Marner is now back and healthy. Wow, we are on a tear in January. And it comes to a screeching halt with a huge loss. So we're 25, 12-2 to round out the first 3 months. We are seeing second in our division, trailing the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Washington Capitals are just trailing Toronto, who's the best team in the NHL this season so far. Let's skip ahead and we'll take a look at the stats at the end of January. Well, everyone's seeing that Racine kid that I'm not. Three wins against Boston in the month. That is nice. So 31-16-4, closing out January. We have it. Well, appears early, but it's regular time for the deadline. Let's look at weaknesses that need to be addressed as we make our run to the play as we hope to make a run into the playoffs where we hope to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. Connor McDavid once again leading the team in points. His good buddy Mitch Marner's fallen off a bit this season, but he's also missed 9 games. Shingaruk, Salcido, Nolan Patrick has been a disappointment for the amount of money I'm paying him. Maybe I'll pick it up next season as he adapts. If not, I will be looking to move him out and bringing another elite forward in. Just sometimes guys just don't work out. Defense, Bowery, Foot. Okay, defense is okay. I'm happy with it. Let's look at our goalies. Skinner, 30, 19, 10, and 3, 9, 16. Backups, 12, 5, and 1. Both goals against averages could be better. I'm going to leave things as is. I'll look at the deadline and see if I make any trades. Roll to us for a pair of picks. What is this guy? Why do they want to get rid of him? 3 years left. He's a 78 overall. I will take him. How about that third pairing? Let's see where we're standing. If we're going to try to buy some assistance, we are sitting third in our division, 4 points over playoffs. Well, Detroit has come out of nowhere to take the division. We're not gonna make any deals. We're gonna stand pat, and hopefully it's enough to get us into the playoffs. I wasn't gonna overpay for 37-year-old Sidney Crosby, who had just been brought in to see if he can get one more cup before he retires. And once again, Montreal has qualified for the playoffs, so we're going back. We have 3 games remaining on the season. Did we take our division? No, but we did qualify. We finished back at Detroit. We didn't be playing Toronto in the first round, it looks like. As right now, Carolina and Detroit are battling out to see who ends up playing. Either Washington or Tampa, or maybe the Islanders and Tampa, whoever the wild card team is. Maybe even Ottawa might be able to squeak in there. And our last 3 games are on the road. Playing Detroit, Toronto, Buffalo. We should take the Buffalo game for sure. We need to take the game against Toronto. Hopefully we can pick up the win over the Detroit Red Wings. So we win against Detroit, lose in the shootout to Toronto, win against Buffalo. We take 5 of possible 6 points. That might be good enough to move us into second place in the division. And it is. We finished behind Detroit. Match up against Toronto in the first round of playoffs. Detroit will be playing Tampa. Detroit finishes second overall. The Arizona Coyotes take home the President's Trophy this season. Connor McDavid with another 100-point plus campaign. Mitch Marner, first time in a couple years he hasn't hit at least 100 points, but he did miss 6 games. That could have been a factor. Nolan Patrick finishes with 50 points, 7 goals, 43 assists. Not worth the money I'm paying him to be a second liner, but we'll see what he does in the playoffs and we'll decide if he gets to stick around. If not, we'll be moving him out, looking for some assistance and other aspects of the team. Skinner played 59 games, picked up 33 wins, 15 losses, 8 overtime losses. New backup, 16-8-1 in 26 appearances. 905 save percentage for the backup, 921 for the starter, 234 and 292. And Jean Coutier played 1 game, gave it 2 goals and 59 minutes worth of ice time. And let's see how the Montreal Canadiens do in their quest to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. Once again, Laval misses the playoffs. Matt Pumple played all 82 games for them. He was sent down just because I didn't have room for the regular team. He could be a great playoff addition if we have injuries. As we get to play Toronto. Toronto taking game one with a 4-2 victory. Bennett and Linden score in the first. Krug in the second. Darling makes it 3-1. Larson makes it 4-1. Peluso scores to make it 4-2. And we go down in the first game. Torrey Krug, Frederick Anderson with the first star, Corey Peluso with a goal and assist was the only star for us. Okay, let's see how we do coming into game number 2. See if we can rebound. We went 9-2 on home ice last year. We need something similar if we're going to even think of repeating as Stanley Cup champions. And we rebound huge. Our offense shows up in game 2, scoring 7 goals on 31 shots. Foote, Hartman, and Salcido score in the first period on Anderson. Linden makes it 3-1. Marner and Hartman with 2 more in the second. Landeskog and Austin Matthews make it a 5-3 game. Darling scores and Wilson scores, make it 6-3, 7-3. And we have tied up the game. We are going into Toronto with a 1-1 split in Montreal. Hartman, Wilson, and Callan Foote with the 3 stars of the game. Here we go in game 3, first game in Toronto. Montreal once again takes it big, 6-3. Our offense is just rolling. Zaka with 2 goals in the first to make it 2-0. Pacioretty scores to make it 2-1. Salcino, Lindsay, and Marner with 3 in the second. We had 1 more in the third from Darling. Von Arx and Grossman score. And we take it 6-3. We now lead the series 2-1. 3 stars coming out of Toronto. Pavel Zacha, Mitch Marner, and Tyson Lindsay. We get prepared to go into game 4. Hopefully we can walk out of Toronto with a 3-1 series lead. And hopefully wrap up the first round in quick fashion. And with an overtime victory. The Montreal Canadiens have gone up 3-1 on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Galive scores to make it 1-0 in the first. No scoring in the second. Darling ties it up. Grossman goes ahead. Saka gets the tying goal. And in overtime, Nick Salcido, the sophomore player in the second Stanley Cup playoffs, scores to give us the victory. In overtime, we go back to Montreal up 3-2. Or 3-1. Need to win one game. Charlie Shelley is playing. Wow, we didn't play Skinner. I wonder if he's hurt. Let's find out. Injury report. Hopefully I didn't miss that. Hurt. No injuries. Don't know why we went with Shelley in that game. Maybe just to switch things up. We're back in Montreal looking to close out the series with a 5-4 overtime victory. We are moving on to the second round in our quest to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. In the first period, Nieto scores on Skinner. Peluso ties up. Matthews scores on Skinner. Marner ties it up. Krug on Skinner. Shinruk on Anderson. Saka gives her first lead. Linden ties up with 46 seconds remaining. And in overtime, Salcido with a second overtime victory goal in the series gives the Montreal Canadiens the advantage. The 3 stars are Connor McDavid with 3 assists, Hunter Shinruk, and Corey Peluso. And we are going on to the next round with our Game 5 victory. The West is only waiting on Colorado, Chicago. I hate when it does that. We will be waiting on the winner of Detroit and Tampa. Let's go day by day and see who we match up with in the second round. And we'll be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning in round 2 as they upset the Detroit Red Wings, knocking off the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Let's take a quick look at the playoff tree. Winnipeg in 5, Colorado in 6, Anaheim in 5 over Vegas, San Jose in 5 over the Coyotes, Carolina in 6, Washington in 5, Montreal in 5, and Tampa Bay in 7 games, knocking off the Detroit Red Wings. We are now into the divisional finals, if you will. And let's get ready for game number 1. I think last year we had to go through Tampa as well to get to the finals, or get to the playoffs. And Tampa Bay, just like Toronto, takes game 1 in commanding fashion with a 5-3 victory. Sokolov opens the scoring. Marner ties it up. Murphy scores. Patrick scores to tie it up. We were 2-2 after 1. In the second period, Stamkos and Kako score. In the third period, Patrick gets us within striking distance, but Stamkos puts away the clincher to give the Tampa Bay Lightning the 5-3 victory. The three stars judging Nolan Patrick with 2 goals, Steven Stamkos with 2 goals, and Igor Sokolov with a goal and an assist. Oh man. Okay, let's go on to the next round and see, or next game, and see how we do. And it is a 1-0 victory to tie up the series. Skinner getting his first shutout of the playoffs, stopping 35 shots. No scoring in the first, no scoring in the second. Wilson beats Vasilevsky. I can't remember how to pronounce his name. With under 5 minutes to go in the third, that holds up to be the game winner. The 3 stars of the game are Stuart Skinner, Andrei Vasilevsky, and Scott Wilson. We are going to Tampa, all tied up at 1. And Tampa Bay takes Game 3 with a 6-2 drubbing. They have got the goals for in their series. Darling opens up the scoring. Horvat ties up. Kucherov gives a 2-1 win. 3-1 lead. In the second, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, and in the third period, Kucherov on Skinner. And the 3 stars are obviously all going to go to Tampa on that performance. Kucherov with 2 goals, 1 assist. Stamkos a goal and 2 assists. Igor Sokolov a goal and an assist. As the Montreal Canadiens look to bounce back in Game 4 on the road in Tampa Bay to avoid going down 3-1. And we are down 3-1 as the Tampa Bay Lightning take it 3-2. Salcido scores. Vitarin scores to tie it up. Stamkos gives them lead. We tie it up. Radish gives them the 3-2 lead. No scoring in the third. We go back to Montreal, looking to get back in the series. Hopefully we can. Vasilevsky, Radish, and Stamkos with the 3 stars in that game. Pavel Zacha is leading the team in points. 4 goals, 5 assists, point per game. Gonna find out what's happening with McDavid and Marner come this playoff. And we get shut out to eliminate us in 5 games. Kucherov scores in the first. Stamkos in the second. No goals in the third. The Tampa Bay Lightning advance. Montreal is knocked out. We do not repeat as champions. Andrei Vasilevsky, Stuart Skinner standing on his head, trying to get us in there, but the Tampa Bay Lightning just too much to handle this year. As we are out, we are now on the outside looking in. Zaka didn't get a point in his 10th game. Let's take a look at the stats from this series, or from these playoffs, I should say. Pavel Zacha, Nick Salcido, Nolan Patrick, Mitch Marner, Connor McDavid didn't score. That hurts. Leo Darling, Paluzzo, Gerard, Herman was in Shinruk, fell off. He is half. So our top line just was shut down in the playoffs. Skinner went. Oh man. Skinner went 4 and 5 in 10 games. 9 save percentage, 3.32 goals against average. Shilly went 198 goals against average in his appearance. So that's what did us in. Goaltending just not there this season. Let's take a look at the regular season. I forgot to look at the stats this year on goaltending. Maybe we just... Oh, I did look at them, yeah. Yeah. So Skinner just 59 games played. This team's got to do something in the offseason to try to get back over the hump and back into the Stanley Cup Finals. 3 straight losses. Just outscored every turn by the Tampa Bay Lightning, except for Game 2. Went 5 and 5 in the playoffs. Just wasn't there for us this year. Disappointing loss. Let's see who wins the Stanley Cup. The Colorado Avalanche have won the Stanley Cup. The San Antonio Rampage have won the Calder Trophy. Calder Cup Trophy. That is scouting assignment. I haven't looked in the OHL defenseman yet. Maximum cap is going up to 1.4, just under 1.5 million. The minimum has not changed in like 4 years, 3-4 years now. And we only have a couple late picks in this draft. So we're not going to be able to get help from the draft, as I've been trying to do a win now mentality. Let's look at the retired players across the NHL. So defenseman Kappa retires. He only ever played a handful of games in the NHL. 21 games played throughout the NHL. He's calling it a career. Let's take a look at the rest of The retired players. Evgeny Malkin, Steven Stamkos, Anze Kopitar, Jakub Voracek, Blake Wheeler, Max Pacioretty, Alex Pietrangelo, so good thing we moved him out when we did because he's now retired. Matt Zuccarello, Kyle Pozo, Yossi, Stahl, Henrik, Shattenkirk, Kreider, Evgeny Dadonov, Backlund, Tyler Ennis, Anders Lee, surprise, well, yeah, pretty decent player, Jared Spurgeon, Eric Johnson, Cody Eakin, Eric Hula, Martinez Conley, Michael Del Zotto, I knew he was going to retire soon, Connor Brown, Zach Cassian, and let's just do, oh wow, Carl Osner retires after 1,200 games played. Goalies that retired this season are Tuukka Rask, Steve Bernier, Steve Mason, Luis Dominique, Andrew Hammond, Michael Hutchinson, Spengard, Otoro, Grosnick, and Boyle. Big one, Tuukka Rask retiring from the Boston Bruins. Everyone else wasn't an active goaltender. Yeah, Nolan Patrick for almost $10 million, not even 50 points, so I'm not going to keep him. I've got to re-sign Salcido next off season. So move Salcido up and let him play. Let's put Sanheim up there, and also let's go with Bowie. See if I can bring in some younger players. We do not have a surplus in net. So Patrick is really upset that he's being put on the trade block after a disappointing season. If I don't try to move him, the Montreal faithful would have my head. Let's do the entry draft and for agency set up next year, and I'm going to call it a day. I will see you hopefully at some point this week. So New Jersey Devils are coming at us with a first round pick in 2027. I'm going to edit this trade. See if I can turn it into a first round pick from this year. Instead. Okay, let's sweeten the deal by offering them our fourth. Here's compensation. And seventh? Or sixth? No. So we're going to get past that trade day. I'm not trading for a first round pick next year. So Toronto's offering us 2 first round picks for Bowie. 1 this year, 1 next year. We're going to accept that trade. That's 2 second round picks. 1 this year, 1 next year. See what else Boston has. Maybe they want to have something that we want this year instead. So instead of that, we will take the second round of this year. Oops. And they do make that trade. Now we're at our first pick in the entry draft. We've got the 21st pick, then we got 2 picks in the second round, then we are out of here. Now we get a 68, which is a steal over the last couple picks. Oh, wow, Krutz went high. Looking so far to be the next. We're now picking in the second round, 43rd overall. We still have the 4th. I thought we only had 3 picks this year. Oh well. I'll take it. do it. Exit. That's worth a shot. He looked to be the best player available in the draft. As you can see, I can pick him up. Shannon. Milroy. And so we only pick up 5 players in this draft. Nothing overly worth signing right away. There's Shattenkirk. I'm an idiot sometimes. Moral rejected. Accepted, 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 rejected, accepted, accepted, rejected. Okay, whoever rejected, it's gone. Don't say I didn't try to keep you on the team, boys. Frig off. I got like 20 million. So I got everyone I wanted to. I still have how much in cap space? Still got 5 million in cap space. David Gerard's probably going to get moved out this year. So I don't have much to re-sign him for next year. Gobello. See how he does. See if I want to re-sign him. Let's send the next season. Take a look at the lineups. Oh man. What have I done here? That's him. Let's go upstairs. Laundry. Not find it. Take some roster moves, and then I'm going to call it a day. We got four centers up, 6 left wingers, 4 right wingers, only 6 defense in the system. We got no center signed. We have a lot is free, a lot as young prospects. Bella, Elias Honka, Foot, Babuso, Lindsay, and Sproul. Captains and jerseys. So we're giving the A's to all our top line forwards. That's okay. This year. And you're just a regular player. You don't need such a high number. Tip it. 7. Not retiring that number anytime soon. Oh, excuse me. Riley. And last but not least, what I did not like you keep coming up with number 30. And go 24. Shelly. 30. So there are your Montreal Canadiens as they look to return to the Stanley Cup Finals for the third straight season. Second round defeat last year, won the Cup the year before. Let's just quickly do the preseason and see how things are looking as we head into year 8. I believe. Yeah, 18. Ooh, we need to sign a goalie. I just noticed we have no goalie depth. So I'll do that just before the season starts. Six 0-1, undefeated, and regulation in the preseason. And he's going to sign a goalie for just the rest of it for a 1-year deal. And he's got to be just good enough to be the AHL backup, hopefully. Okay, let's just sim to game 1 of the regular season and see if those two goalies, one extends and one signs. Okay. All right. Sheila accepted our offer. He's going to be our backup. And Martindale accepts the offer to come in and work in the AHL for us. Let's make sure roster moves are fine. Yeah. Ooh, let's do this because Cloutier is higher rated going into the regular season. Let's bring him up. Oh, Shelly has to go through waivers. Cancel. No, we'll leave it at that. It's not going to risk losing Shelly. But Shelly may become our permanent AHL starter following this year. So I'm going to call it a day there. I might, but probably not be back on later. I gotta make dinner and get ready for work. I will see you all on the ice in another day. I hope you enjoy. Have a good day.